Good morning, beloved. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are watching the broadcast. Hello, hello, hello. It is wonderful connecting with you, saying hello, how you be, what's going on in your world. Let's cut that clock off. What's happening with you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are watching the broadcast. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you who will be live, I love it. You know, I love live interaction and all of those wonderful, great things. For those of you who will hashtag it and replay it, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Letitia Wright is in the house. Hey, girl. For those of you who will be on and I don't know you on and I might not never know you on, that ain't none of my business. And then for those of you who will be used by pop up at some point down the road to encourage this girl, that is my business. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the encouragement. I'm grateful for you being used by Papa. I'm grateful for how we show up, how we get to show up in the world. I am very, very, very beyond grateful. So thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the blessing that you are. Thank you for continuing to show up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I value you. I honor you. And I thank you. So let's see. Consistency. So we're continuing with this notion of giving yourself every possible chance, giving yourself every possible chance. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, sis. Giving yourself every possible chance. So consistency is key. Consistency is key in order to give ourselves every possible chance. If we start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, we hinder our chances, we hinder our opportunities to maximize. But if we are consistent in our efforts, right? It doesn't have to be giant efforts, it doesn't have to be giant leaps, giant steps, but consistency. We know that from the childhood fable of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise and the hare, it wasn't the fastest one who won the race, but it was the consistent one, slow and steady on the pace that ran the race. So, I'm not so much speaking to speed here as I am speaking to consistency. Sometimes we do have to put some speed behind things. But if we're not consistent, it doesn't matter what speed we go. If we're not consistent in our efforts towards whatever goal it is that is ours to reach, whatever destination is ours to arrive at. So I am inviting us to um, I'm inviting us to the consistency of it all, right? Making sure that we are consistent, making sure that we are um, yeah, that we are doing the thing that is ours to do, that we have been created to do, that we are moving in the direction of our dream, moving in the direction that only we can move in for ourselves. Can't nobody be consistent for us, right? And you know, what's important about consistency is trust is built in consistency. Trust is built. You can't have trust if you don't have consistency. If a person doesn't show up the way that they said they would, if a person doesn't do what they said they would do, if a person isn't a keeper of their word, then there's an absence of consistency there, and there is an absence of trust. One of the things when you're doing a research study is consistency, right? Do the results consistently show up based upon what it is that has been put to test, based upon, based upon the trust is built in consistency. Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Is it reliable? St. Hi. So good to see you this morning, my dear. Yes. So is it reliable? Is it reliable? Consistent reliability is about consistency in research. So we can have um, we can have we can have all kinds of things that happen. But if we're not consistent, like, are you a person of your word? Are you trustworthy? Are you dependable? Do you show up time after time after time? Because it's something to be able to say, oh, I know they will because their history shows me that they will, that they do, that they have done. And so giving yourself every possible chance. Judith, good morning, my dear. So good to see you. Welcome. Yes, yes, yes. And so um, giving yourself. And see, when you give you every possible chance, you also increase those same chances and opportunities for those who you are connected with. So it ain't never just about you, boo. It ain't never just about you. Not ever is it just about you. Good morning, cousin. I love you too. It's never just about you. It's also about those who Papa God has connected us to. So when we give ourselves every possible chance, we also model what that looks like for everybody else. Look, um, I never, like, I just got my newest book. I think I'm addicted. I think I'm addicted. This is my latest book, Dr. Anita Phillips, The Garden Within. It's a intersection of spirituality and therapy. And I'm just, that's one of the things that I do. I am consistently learning, consistently growing, consistently exposing myself to something new. I am consistently going for my next. And then everyone's connected with me. They see it, they experience it, and they have an opportunity to see it modeled and to be pulled in that direction themselves. So even if I never, yeah, right? Exactly. Great minds think alike. So um, even if I never say anything directly to them, they can watch from afar and say, okay, so Kathy, got up again. Even though she took some steps back, she got back up. She tried it again. She pressed in. She figured it out, or she's figuring it out on the road. She figured it out for this juncture. That piece right there, I think that might be just what we meant to talk about today. We never have anything figured out for the whole. We figure it out for our now. We figure it out for this juncture. We figure it out for this season, because life will bring us what it brings us. And so we always need to be available for adjustment, for flexibility, for adaptation. And just because we figured it out yesterday doesn't mean we have it on lock for today. Don't mean we have it on lock for tomorrow. So give yourself the grace you need to make the adjustment, to pivot again, to shift again, because if what was working for you in 2023, it probably won't work in 24. I'm just saying, because what worked for me in 23 and 22 is not what I used in 23. And if you would assess your life, you will see that you needed different tools and different strategies at different times within your life, right? You will see that you needed different tools and strategies. One, because you're different, and because the situation is different. Different things call for different times in different places. And so I'm looking for my new strategy, beloved. I am available for my new strategy, for the strategy that Papa has given me. Let me just say, if there's anything I learned about myself, if there's anything I learned about life in these last 3 and 4 years, is I must move to the beat of my own drum. I cannot follow somebody else's beat, and it definitely can't be dictated by somebody else's um, belief of the way that I'm supposed to show up. It just does not work for me at all. Because if I'm not moving to the beat of my own drum, my movement is thoroughly disrupted. My movement is hindered and hampered, and I second guess everything that I'm doing. I'm okay with being wrong. I really am. I'm not okay with second guessing myself. That feels like death to me. Like I'm okay with assessing. I'm always assessing. But even if I'm dead wrong, like I'm sure while I'm doing it. And then I'll come back and assess and I'll be like, oh, okay, let's redo that. But to be like, that whole what's the word? Tempered. I can't think of the word. You know what I mean? What's that word I'm trying to say? To be hesitant, right? And doubtful and scared. Like that's scary for me. Hey, Erica. Hey, Honey Bun. So good to see you. That's scary. That's fear. That's fear-based living and fear-based responding and fear-based, and it just doesn't work for me. It just absolutely does not work. And so I'm inviting us to give yourself every possible chance. Let me tell you 2 things that's required to do that. One is grace, and then the other is accountability. Grace and accountability. Accountability, ownership. So we've got to own whatever it is. Own it. Call it what it is. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it more than it is. Don't make it less than it is. Like a sober assessment, ownership, but also grace. But also give yourself the necessary grace, because we are not God. So we don't know everything. We will make mistakes. We will fall short. We will jack some things up as part of the human journey. We look back and we be like, ooh, I look back and I really wonder how I got over. How I got over. How I got over. My soul look back and wonder, ooh, how did we make it through that stuff? Right? How do we? Well, and so sometimes, especially in those places, grace is the best response that we can give. Give yourself some grace. Because let me just say, it don't work. I mean, like, it costs us so much to beat ourselves up. It costs too much. It costs too much to beat ourselves up. I love this comment. I'm glad you do, Honey Bun. I'm happy you didn't miss it as well. It costs us too much to beat ourselves up. Like, own it. Call it what it is. Give it a sober assessment. Don't overreach it. Don't make it bigger, and don't, make it smaller. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Like, give yourself a sober, accurate assessment of how you showed up and what the outcome and the results are. And in those spaces where you need to give yourself grace, give yourself grace. Because if you don't, it's harder to get back up. We stay in those places that don't serve us way too long. And then we don't get started soon enough. So I'm inviting you to give yourself the grace that is due you, beloved. Give yourself the grace that you deserve. Give yourself the grace that's necessary. Give yourself the grace, right? And so same here. I'm giving myself the grace that is due for me. So beloved, I love you. I appreciate you and I value you. And I thank you for how you show up. I thank you for being here. I love seeing your names come up. I love, love, love your comments. Thank you for all of the hearts. I love you back. The hardest recovery in life is when we fail to be honest with ourselves. Yeah, because then we keep making the same mistakes. We can't recover if we're not honest. Like we're not even looking at the thing. Good morning, Ray. Welcome. It's so good to have you. It is, because if we're not honest, but then the other thing is that we disrupt because we know we're not honest. That doesn't feel good. When we know we're not honest, our soul knows we're not honest. Look, I got a hard stop on Tuesday mornings at 6. I send you love, grace, and peace. And love, give yourself every possible chance. Because if you don't, nobody else can. Nobody else can. It's got to come from you. Papa has already agreed and signed on. I love you. At the moment that Abba gave us our breath, me and you, we forfeited, we relinquished, we gave up the right to not be amazing. I love you, beloved. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.